Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is another book review. This time, the book is by Al Ghazali. It is called The Alchemy of Happiness. Al Ghazali is a theologian, he was a Muslim. And in this book, he tells us how we can be happy. And the first step for that is for us to know ourselves, the knowledge of self. And in order to know who we have to answer the existential questions first. We have to answer them. And the existential questions are this: where do we come from? For what purpose are we in here? And where are we headed towards after this life, basically? And but first of all, you have to know as a human being that you have two souls or two sides, you can call it. The soul, which is the spiritual part of you, is in control of the body, which is the animal side of you. And each created being has or is judged by the most, the highest potential that it can reach. Human beings have an angelic part and an animal part. So we are judged on the fact that we can be like angels in the sense that we can worship God. As you know, angels do not have a will, free will. They can not disobey what God says. So we have that part in us, like that part that can obey only God. And we also have the animal part, which is the passion and anger, like seeking pleasure, eating, drinking, sleeping, like doing stuff that makes us passionate, basically. And we are judged on the fact that we can put the passion under the control of the reason, the soul. So our body is a kingdom, according to Al Ghazali, and the soul is the king. The reason that we use every day to think, to make arguments, to to convince each other, reason is the prime minister of that kingdom, and passion is the revenue collector, and anger is the police officer. The police officer is anger. So we have to put anger under the control of the soul. Anger and passion should be controlled by the reason, the prime minister, and the soul. So we have that part also. And if we let the passion control the reason and dictate our actions, we are worse than animals because we can do better than them, but we are still doing just like they are. So, like, for example, a horse and a donkey both can carry heavy loads for us, but we like horses better because we can use them to go to battle. So they have a higher potential than donkeys. We can use donkeys to go to battle, but horses are just better. So we use them for that. So they have that higher potential. And that's why we are better than animals, because we have reason and we have the soul, and we can use those to control the animal side of us. If we fail to do that, we are worse than them because they do not have control like we do. And the first question that we should answer is, where do we come from? For that, I have this argument that is not exactly in the book, but it's like the Kalam cosmological argument that people use most of the time to prove that God exists. It goes like this: you have contingent being and you have a necessary being. Contingent beings are beings that are created that have a beginning. So if something has a beginning, it is contingent. And you cannot have an infinite chain of contingent things. If you have an infinite chain of contingent thing is like, for example, you and me, we started to begin. Even the universe is contingent because it started 5 billion years ago. So it has a cause. So if you have a chain of like, what created me, and then you answer that question, what created the universe, you answer that question, what created the thing that created the universe, and then you go back infinitely, the universe will not exist because like you would not go to there will not be a first cause, basically. So if there is no first cause, there will be nothing right now. The fact that we are here proves that proves that there is a first cause, and that first cause, that necessary being, is what we call God. It is all powerful, it has knowledge and everything, and it is necessary, because without it there will be nothing here right now. The only thing that you can use against this argument is to deny the fact that we exist. So if you deny that you are in existence right now, then we cannot say anything. But if you are in existence right now, then God exists, because you cannot go infinitely, like who created this ad infinitum. Nothing would be created if there is no start. If there is no starting point in the causal chain, then nothing would be here. Like there would be no effect. So that is the most basic argument, I think, to prove that God exists. Yeah. So that is the first chapter of the book. The next chapter is the knowledge of God.